Hi, I'm Ashley, and this is the corner of the internet where I talk about my knitting and spinning. For my finished object, I have my final skein of the Myrtle and Yarn Polworth wool that I spun up. Here it is. I was actually able to achieve a fingering weight with this yarn, and I am a big fan of Polworth. It was just such a lovely wool to spin, and it was very easy to achieve a thinner yarn with it, and so yeah, I'm quite a fan. I bought a couple of 8-ounce roving from Etsy, and it's a Polworth Yak blend. So I'm actually really excited to spin that up once it arrives. For my Marielle blouse, I have finished the collar of the blouse. Blocking will help it sit a little better, but I have added the needles back to the bottom of the garment, and I'm working again back in the round. But it's coming out really nicely and I'm really enjoying it. I am knitting this with the Filge base from Hillsvog, and it's in this beautiful ochre color. As I mentioned in my previous video, I decided to shift gears on the Carl Johan sweater that I was making in the Ecopuna by Amano, which is a 100% Peruvian alpaca yarn. I was knitting that sweater in the darkest shade that they have. It's almost a black alpaca yarn. And it is a basic contiguous sleeve sweater, but I decided to shift gears and I have started the Alpine Paca sweater or jumper by Saskia & Co. And I decided to add, for the color work, I decided to add the other color that I have left over in my stash in the color Tawny. And this is what it's looking like, and I'm thrilled with my decision. So I don't have much so far, but I'm really enjoying this color work. And here's the book that I'm knitting it from. It is Arctic Knits, and it was published by Saskia & Co. Some years ago, and this is the only way to get that alpaca colorwork jumper. It is only published in this book, but the book is about $20, and I did get it off of Amazon. For today, me and Angel are just gonna go up to the mountains, probably go to our favorite coffee shop, which you've seen probably so many times in a bunch of my vlogs, but we're gonna go to that coffee shop and probably have a bite to eat up there, which will be really nice. We've just been really wanting some mountain time, and it is a beautiful crispy fall day today, and so I'm excited to get some footage up there. And we're gonna bring Yaku along with us. Chango is accompanying my dad. He is at home alone right now because my mom is traveling at the moment, and so we figured Chango would be a good companion for him for this week. My dad and Chango love going on big walks several times a day, and so they just really complement each other, and it's very cute. So that's where Chango's at. But yeah, I'm gonna take you guys along with me on a little bit of a mountain trip, and I am gonna continue working on, we'll see what I choose when we're walking out the door, but I do want to continue working on the Alpine Paca. But another project that I am like including into my rotation is the Navalis wrap by Tati Lutsak. This is what I have so far. It is just this huge, beautiful color work that's mirrored from each other wrap slash shawl. and I really want it for this upcoming season, and hopefully for this season if I can get it done. But as you can see, it's kind of an undertaking because it is quite big. But I am knitting this in the same yarn, just 2 different colors. And so I am holding Plutolopi along with Easier Soft Fine. One of the colors is Oatmeal. And I think that's the color name for both the Plutolopi and the Easier Soft. And then I'm holding it together. The Plutolopi in the darker color is just brown. That's the color name. And then I'm holding it together with the Easier Soft Fine in the color Gingerbread. So it's kind of pulling a little bit more rusty in color. And yeah, the motif is very interesting. It's using that same Estonian color work technique that you sometimes see in certain color work patterns, where you're pretty much using the floats as a form of creating the color work design. But right now I'm just knitting this. I am in the decreases, so it is kind of going down into a point. And then at some point soon, I'm going to be including one more little color work chart before I finish this end of the shawl. And then I will start the other side of the shawl, in which the colors will be mirrored and switched. So the main color is going to be the dark color, and then the color work is going to be this lighter color, which gives this really cool effect. So we'll see which project I bring along with me to the coffee shop, but yeah, you'll see it here in my vlog, and I'll see you guys here in a little while. here she is. Oh my goodness, you guys, I am loving this pattern. It is literally, it's going by so quickly because each little motif is just so addicting. I love color work. And working with 100% alpaca, I think, is so perfect for color work because there's just enough bounce and stretch to the fabric that I don't feel like I have to watch my tension as much. But a couple modifications to go over. The alpine paca does only have a crew neck collar. Since I started with the Carl Johan sweater, that does ask for a turtleneck, and so I decided to keep it because I think it looks really nice, and I've always wanted a turtleneck color work sweater, so I decided to just continue on with the alpine paca design after the collar. These first two blocks of motifs are part of the pattern, but this last one here is not. The third block of color work design is like a leafy pattern. I'll show an example here. So it has that, and although I think that's lovely, I really wanted to make this more Peruvian. Since I'm half Peruvian, I very much was attracted to this pattern since it had the alpacas on it. Since this is made with 100% undyed alpaca, I thought that was just so fun. And so I went ahead and looked up Peruvian color work motifs or something like that, and I found this pattern on I think it was Pinterest. I went ahead and just took a snapshot of it, and I'm actually really proud of this color work that I was able to figure out, because the pattern repeat that I found online is a 6-stitch repeat. Now, the amount of stitches that I had at this time was not 6 stitches. So I was able to kind of mentally like modify the pattern so that it would fit and the pattern would still show up. So I am quite proud of this. Now I am on to the alpaca motif, which is the star of the show. I'm so excited to start it. And yeah, I'm just going to keep on working on this, and I'm probably going to have the yoke done within this week, which is really exciting. And then I feel like the rest of the sweater is just going to work up really quickly. I was wanting to work a little bit more on the Navales wrap by Teti Ludsak that I'm working on, but I'm just so hyper fixated on that alpine paca sweater that I think I'm just going to continue working on that today. So I'll probably hit up a coffee shop before I go into work today, and yeah, we'll see what I get up to the rest of the day. It has been such a busy couple of days for me, and I wasn't able to get much knitting done, unfortunately. It really kind of bummed me out. Today's my day off, so I definitely want to be intentional and get some very much needed knitting done. So I have my alpaca sweater in my bag here. And I am at this dope little coffee shop that I haven't been to in quite a while, but they have really good coffee. I'm probably going to pop in there, have some coffee, maybe get a pastry, and get some knitting done. It's such a beautiful day out. I might sit in their backyard. They have such a beautiful like patio seating area, and it is just so fall. It's just so lovely and fall vibes here in Colorado. The leaves are just changing. It's just so beautiful. Typically here in Colorado, our falls feel really short just because usually the night of Halloween or at the end of October, we get a snowstorm and it tends to just knock all the leaves off. And so I just feel like we have a pretty short autumn in the sense that you see the leaves change and it's super beautiful for about a month before it feels like winter. But yeah, I'm just going to soak it up today. I'm feeling super cute in this fall inspired outfit that I have on. I'm going to knit on my beautiful alpaca project and hopefully get some kind of fall drink here. I don't know what fall special drinks they have, but I'm gonna definitely get that. Something pumpkin would be ideal. So that's all I have for you guys in this week's video. Thanks so much for coming along with me as I shift gears on an already started project, and it's just become such a success, at least so far. If you haven't already, please consider subscribing or liking this video and make sure to get some crafting done, and I'll see you on the next one.